please subscribe, like and share and press the bell icon to get notifications. Hello students, Learn with Reza is back with another video. So today's video will be about the time lesson, and this lesson is basically for grade 8 students. So here we're going to learn about the local times, international times and all about time. So now let's move into the video. This video will teach you the reason for the difference in time in two places at the same instance, and it will teach you the change of date and time according to the international date line. So other than this, other related stuffs of time will be discussed in this video. So now let's go into the lesson. Well students, before you move into the lesson, you should know the meanings of these terms: hemispheres, longitudes and latitudes. So now let's discuss that. Hemispheres are four types: northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, eastern and the western hemisphere. Let's see what is a northern hemisphere. The hemisphere with the North Pole as its topmost point is called as northern hemisphere. When you observe the diagram at the left, you can observe the northern hemisphere. The southern hemisphere is the hemisphere with South Pole as its topmost point is called as southern hemisphere. So you can see that northern hemisphere is on the top and southern hemisphere is in the bottom. Both hemispheres are divided by an imaginary surface that is called as the equator, the red line. So other than this, the eastern and the western hemisphere. The eastern and the western hemispheres with eastern longitudes and western longitudes. So they are respectively called as the eastern hemispheres and the western hemispheres. Now let's see what are longitudes. An imaginary semicircle on the surface of the earth connecting the North Pole and the South Pole with the same center as the center of the earth is called a line of longitude. Longitude is an angular distance usually measured in degrees, which is used to specify the east-west position of a location. Longitudes vary from 0 degrees to positive 180 degree eastward and from 0 degrees to negative 180 degree westward from the 0 degree line of longitude, which passes through the Greenwich, England. The line of longitude which passes through Greenwich, England is called the Greenwich Meridian. The longitude along this line is 0 degrees. The most important thing, this is the thing. The earth rotates one complete rotation around its axis every 24 hours. So here the diagram depicts the North Pole and the South Pole as well. Observe this. Well students, the time difference between 1 degree of longitude is 4 minutes. Yes, 4 minutes for 1 degree. It takes 1 hour for the earth to rotate 15 degrees. So, earth is divided into 24 time zones, where each time zone is bounded by 2 lines of longitude 15 degrees apart. You have to remember these facts when you are doing questions, especially the time difference between 1 degree of longitude is 4 minutes and it takes 1 hour to earth to rotate 15 degrees. And students, another amazing thing is when comparing the time in East Hemisphere with Greenwich Meridian time, the time increases by 4 minutes per degree of longitude because sun rises earlier in the east. So see how amazing the world is. Similarly, the time in the Western Hemisphere decreases by 4 minutes per degree of longitude from Greenwich Meridian line towards the west. Remember this well: decreasing, increasing and the hemisphere for the direction, okay? Now let's move into the next part of the lesson, the local time. Time at different locations in the world is calculated based on the longitude of the location and the time along the Greenwich. Let's do a question. Well, the question says Colombo is located at longitude 80 degree east. Find the local time in Colombo when Greenwich time is 6. Yes students, the first thing is the time difference for 15 degree of longitude, that is 1 hour. The time difference for 80 degree of longitude is 1 upon 15 into 80, because for 15 degree if it is 1 hour, then for 80 hours you have to log it. Then we get 1 upon 3 hours, that is 5 hours and 20 minutes. Since Colombo is located east of the Greenwich Meridian, we have to add the above time to the Greenwich Meridian. So therefore, the local time in Colombo is 6 plus 5 hours and 20 minutes. So that is 11:20. Yes, students. As we have already observed, according to the previous example, the local time can vary from one city to another city, even in a small country like Sri Lanka. It is not practical to have different times at different places in the same country when the country is not too large. So students, to avoid this situation, Earth's surface is divided into several time zones. Time of every location with a time zone is considered to be the same at any given moment. Here you can observe the time zone. Now here the time zone stretches from the North Pole to the South Pole as shown in this figure. So it is convenient for us to mark the lines of longitude as parallel lines in figures. Now observe the figure. By taking the Greenwich meridian as the center line, the region between, observe it, the region between 7.5 degree west and 7.5 degree east is named as the zero time zone. And students, you might observe that the 11 regions between the lines of longitude placed 15 degrees apart from 7.5 degree east to 172.5 degree east are named the +1 time zone, +2 time zone and +3 time zone likewise. So 11 time zone respectively, and the region between 172.5 degree east and 180 degree east is named as the 12 time zone. The 11 regions between the line of longitude placed 15 degrees apart from 7.5 degree west to 172 degree half degree west are named the -1 time zone, -2, -3 and likewise minus up to -11 time zone. Another important fact is, during some special situations, at a given moment, every place in a particular time zone has the same time. The time in a time zone which is adjacent to another time zone west of it is 1 hour ahead of the time to the adjacent time zone. The time in a time zone adjacent to another time zone east of it is 1 hour behind the time in the adjacent time zone. Yes, the time in Greenwich City at any particular moment is known as the Greenwich Mean Time of that moment. If the Greenwich Mean Time of a particular moment is known, then the time at any location in the world can easily be calculated. So therefore, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, is often used to express the global time. When the time in Greenwich is 11:30 am on Monday, the time in the time zone +12 is 11:30 pm on Monday, and the time in the -12 time zone is 11:30 pm on Sunday, that is the previous day. Hence, the time difference between the two time zones +12 and -12 is 24 hours. If you have this look on this diagram, you can have a clear idea. A person who travels from the east to the west across the international date line gains an additional day, since the current day changes into the previous day across the IDL, international date line. Moreover, a person who travels from the west to the east across the IDL loses a day, since the current day changes to the next day across the IDL, the international date line. So you can see that in this picture they have described the blue region, it's Monday, and the red region, it's Tuesday. So that way the days changes at the same time. So large countries like USA and Australia fall into several time zones. The time in the city of Los Angeles in the USA is 4 hours behind the time in Washington DC, which is located in the east. So students, the simple theory that you have to understand here is, when you travel east to west, you gain a day, and when you travel west to east across the IDL, then you lose a day. This is the simplest theory you have to know. Observe this diagram well. This gives you a clear idea of the changes of time, so it's better that you take this into a short note. Well students, now let's move into a question round. The first question, find the time in Trinidad, West Indies, -4 time zone. So when Greenwich time is 3:24 p.m. on Monday. So the Greenwich time is 3:24. I have written it in the digital form. The time zone to which Trinidad belongs is -4. So the time difference is -4 minus 0. So then what we get is -4. So children, the time in Trinidad is 3:24 minus 4 hours. So count back 4 hours and you will get 11:24 a.m. on Monday. Well, let's discuss the second question. Calculate the time in Chile when Sri Lankan time is 11:15 a.m. 2017, August 15th. Yes, the Chile time zone is children -5. Sri Lankan time zone is +5.5. So the difference is -5 subtract +5.5 and then you get -10.5. So that's the difference is -10.5 hours between Chile and Sri Lanka. So to find the time in Chile, the Sri Lankan time is 11:15 a.m. So 11:15 minus 10 hours and 30 minutes will give you the time in Chile. So you have to count back 10 hours and 30 minutes from 11:15 a.m. and then you get 2:45 p.m. So that is the time in Chile. But the date is 2017, August 14th. Alright students, now try to understand this question. When the time in Bangkok in the +7 time zone is 4, find the time in Auckland, New Zealand in +12 time zone. So that means in Bangkok it's now 4 p.m. and we have to find the time in Auckland, which is situated in New Zealand. So this is in +12 time zone. So how do we do this? Yes, Auckland time zone is +12. Bangkok time zone is +7. So the difference is +12 minus +7. So +12 minus into plus minus. So 12 minus 7, that gives a positive answer, +5 hours. So the difference is +5 hours. So you add 5 hours from 4 p.m. and that will give 9 p.m. So the time in Auckland is 9 p.m. when the time in Bangkok is 4 p.m. The part 2 is when the time in Bangkok in the +7 time zone is 4, find the time in Athens in Greece in +2 time zone. So when Bangkok time is 4 p.m., what's the time in Athens? That's what they're asking us to find. So how to do this? Yes, the Greece time zone is +2. Bangkok time zone is +7. So the difference is +2 minus +7, plus into minus. So -7 + 2 is -5 hours. So the time in Athens you have to subtract from 4 p.m. 5 hours and then what you get is 12 p.m. So the time in Athens is 12 p.m. when the time in Bangkok is 4 p.m. The third part. When the time in Bangkok in the +7 time zone is 4 p.m., find the time in Trinidad in -4 time zone. So the similar method we have to apply here. Trinidad time zone is -4, Bangkok time zone is +7. So the difference is -4 minus +7. So plus into minus is minus. So both answers like -4 minus 7. So the answer comes in -11 hours. So the time in Trinidad is you have to count back 11 hours from 4 p.m. and then you will get 6 a.m. of the particular day. So the time in Trinidad is 6 a.m. Did you know something interesting? USA, Australia and countries in Europe receive sunlight for more than 12 hours a day during the summer period. Yes, during these times, because the sun rises early in these countries, daytime is increased by advancing the clock forward by an hour. This time period, daylight saving time, is applicable to countries in the northern hemisphere from mid-March to early November and to countries in southern hemisphere from early October to early April. And students, did you ever think how early people measured time during early days? Yes, this is called as a sundial. This is one of the instruments used to measure the time in early days. And this is called as the hourglass. This was also used to measure the time during early days. So I hope that this video helped you to understand all about the time, history of time, the wonders of time, and the changes of time in international and national borders. Please subscribe, like and share and press the bell icon to get notifications.